today we'll go deeper into the Vijnana. We'll go into Nama and Rupa, the main thing. And if you have understood Dhamma, it means you have understood Nama Rupa. Yeah, because Avidya Pachay Sankhara, Sankhara Pachay Vijnana, Vijnana Pachay Nama Rupa. So then the main crux at where everything gets muddled up is between Nama Rupa and Vijnana. They go in circles. If you look at Vipassi, he became a Buddha by understanding Vijnana and Namarupa. And Namarupa with Vijnana. That's it. Over. Okay. So if Arhat is possible in this life, the person who has cut Namarupa. So no Vijnana. Any questions before we begin from what we have covered so far? Sure. No questions, no concerns. All I've understood. All I've understood the remaining four aggregates. Okay. If you don't have, I don't want to pressurize for questions. So I'll take the classic example of my Vipassana retreat. It makes sense because everybody has done it, so it becomes easy to understand what's happening. Now, the first thing I do is I enter the Dhamma hall. Now, the question comes, where is the Dhamma hall? What do you think? Is that a Nama or Rupa or both?
Both, sir.
Both. Okay. So then what is Nama? In Nama Rupa. In this example, Dhamma hall, which is the Nama and which is the Rupa?
Rupa is that physical thing. Nama is that mind, the mind that it is a Dhamma.
Mm-hmm. No. Any other? Okay, let me ask you in this way. How many kaya are there? In kaya, kaya anupasya viharati. How many kayas are there? And if you tell me how many, I want to know what it is known as and how you can experience. Okay, two. Fine. What are those?
Namakaya, Rupakaya.
Yes, Namakaya, Rupakaya. Now, what does that mean? Yes, go ahead. You don't have to ask me.
I think by definition, Namakaya means Dinka, Pasa, Vedana, Sanya, Chetana, Manasikara.
Correct. Okay, that's by definition. Correct. Then
the Rupakaya is the four Mahabhuta. That's the four.
Upadaya Rupa.
Rupa.
Perfect. Good answer. But how do you experience? So look at my thing. I have entered the Dhamma hall. Okay, I've entered. So when I enter the Dhamma hall, which part is a Namakaya? Which part is a Rupakaya?
Is Namakaya like the perception of the hall itself and the feeling and everything that comes along with it?
Right. Good one. So, do you enter any place? And the answer is no. But do you feel you have entered a place? And the answer is yes. So, when I say I'm entering into the house, I'm entering into Dhamma hall, I'm entering into Vipassana Research Institute, I've already taken the object. So the Vijnana starts immediately. Its job is to give the experience. So what it does, it gives experience of Dhamma hall because there is contact. So Chakuncha Paticha Rupecha Upajati Dhamma hall. That is a Vijnana which has come. Inna Sangati Passo. So now the contact has happened. Passa Pachaya Vedana. Okay. Then Sanya happens. So Passa happens. When Passa happens, then what should happen? So the five things are Passa, Vedana, Sanya, Chetana, Manasikara. So the moment I enter into the Dhamma hall, the Vedana comes as Sukha and the Sanya takes it over. Then there is an experience or a symbolization that this Dhamma hall is making me happy. And there is an intention. That is, that Chetana is nothing but Sankhara, actually. So there's an intention to sit here. And then I make up the mind to be there. And then the assistant teacher puts on a cassette and Goenka starts explaining. So I've closed my eyes. Sotancha paticha saddecha uppajjati Goenka vinyanam. Inna sangati passo. Passa pachaya vedana. Now, if I have liking for Goenka, I get Sukha Vedana. If I have disliking for Goenka, I get Dukkha Vedana. And I don't even know who is Goenka, then I get Adukha, Asukha Vedana. Then, now that I'm getting Sukha Vedana, what should happen? I get into craving. Because that assistant teacher, when I entered into the Dhamma hall, said to me that you hear to what our Guruji says, there's a lot of vibrations. Now again, even before the cassette was played, this assistant teacher told me this, or rather broadcasted it on the microphone. The Sotancha Paticha Saddecha Upajjati, assistant teacher Vijnana. Now I am getting hooked by that word vibration. And what is this vibration? Nobody knows. But that word vibration catches. That catches the attention, manasikar. So then the assistant teacher saying, our Guruji, when he recites, a lot of positive vibration. Now I get into this positive vibration. It is not just vibration. It's positive vibration. So the attention is now mood shifted to positive vibration. This is how Namakaya works. And what is Rupakaya? It's just elements. Doesn't matter. As long as the space is there, there is sound. That's it. It's got nothing to do with assistant teacher's sound or Goenkaji's sound. But Namakaya changes it. It makes it different. So the Vijnana, when it is appeared there as Goenkaji Vijnana, it gets into an experience of Sukha Vedana. Fine. Now, same thing happens while eating and all of that. So, 6 consciousness which are alien. That's what Buddha says in Maha Tanha Sankhya Sutta. They are alien. They have got nothing to do with you or me or anything. They're just alien. So when Goenka consciousness comes, it's alien. Shouldn't be taken. It's Mara. And the Dhamma hall itself is Mara. If I create a concept of Goenka and VRI or any place, it's Mara. So what should I do? Don't take it. Now, can anybody stay without that sanya and not reacting to it? Yes. If somebody refers to Sanya Sutta, he explains you can. That you don't have a sanya, but yet have sanya. Yeah, can be possible. Why? Etan santan etan panitam yadidam sabba sankhara samato sabbupadi pati nisaggo tanhakhayo virago nirodho nibbana. This is what Buddha says to Ananda when he asks this question. And when I enter into VRI, VRI is gone. Am I mindful of that? Yes. The building is gone. So I am not registered. Physically, there is registration. But in the Namakaya, there is no registration. What registration? Nothing. Then assistant teachers meeting. Deregister. Not worth it. Then Dhamma hall. Deregister. If I register, then it goes into Madhupindika. No registration, please. Oh, sorry. So the Nama Rupa is cut. So there's no Vijnana. As long as the Vijnana is not Goenka, as long as the Vijnana is not VRI, as long as the Vijnana is not Dhammahal or whatever, there is no experience at all. So there is no Sukha Vedana, there is no Dukkha Vedana, there is no Adukha Sukha Vedana either. So I am on 4th jhana without the need to get into anywhere. So when I'm on fourth jhana, my landing place is arupa. So what I do sitting there in that place, cut off the rupa. Right? Then it comes to infinite consciousness. And the space is remote. It's just consciousness. So can I be in that retreat without having to worry about anything and seeing assistant teacher and everyone as just consciousness? Yes. Then it takes me to seven jhana, which is akincha ayatana, nothingness. There's no thing in that. So the self is gone. Can I have the best of the experience? Yes. Why? I am away from the rupa domain. That's all what was to be done. So the namakaya now is cut off from the rupa. Then I enter into neva sanya na sanyayatana, neither perception nor non-perception, and reside in sanya vedeta nirodha. Why it happened? Because I cut off the sanya, the vedana, and the namarupa from consciousness. So now can I sit in the Dhamma hall? Can sit anywhere because there's nothing called Dhamma hall. Or can I go to Mahabodhi, which is on the same route? Yep, you can go. Should I sit in that Dhamma Rasmi meditation hall? First of all, I am not in Mahabodhi. If I am not in Mahabodhi, there is a question of sitting in that Dhamma Rasmi meditation hall. Should I sit in Shunyagara when there is nothing called Shunyagara? In fact, the whole thing is Shunyagara. What is the point in sitting in a constructed thing called a Shunyagara? Because Shunyagara is Nama for a Rupa to arise. So the Vijnana will now catch hold of Shunyagara. So then what you do? You take a cushion and you sit. So when I take a cushion and sit, how long will I sit? How long? 1 hour? 2 hours? How many hours? That's all I can sit. And then you have to come out. Once you come out, the Shunyagara is gone. And then you have to share experience of Shunyagara in that Mahabodhi. So first you have to collect the cushion, then you have to put the cushion, and then you have to sit in that room as though that room is going to do something. It's just a constructed one. There is no Shunyagara as such. It's just created. And the consciousness stands on this created one to give you that experience. So when I sit in the Shunyagara, and if somebody asks me, Vilas, how was the experience in Shunyagara? It's the most faking thing itself. Because number one, there is no Shunyagara. Number two, there is nothing to be experienced. Because if there is an experience, so then there is an experiencer also. If there is an experiencer, then the person is created. If the person is created, then you have Sukha Vedana, Dukkha Vedana, Adukha Sukha Vedana. There is nothing called Upekha. That means I'm not in four jhana at all. And since I did not enter into Shunyagara, there is no person to experience Shunyagara, and hence there is no experiencer also. And hence, I am in equanimity. When I went to this Pomona Vipassana Research Center in Brisbane, Bobby has taken a picture of me sitting there in that Shunyagara. Did I go to Pomona place? Yes. Conventionally, yes. But did I enter into VRI in Pomona? No, not at all. Why? It is just a building. They might have put a board, but don't enter in the mind. If you enter in the mind, you start eating it. Vijnana ahara starts eating, and the pain or pleasure gets created. So for those people who love Pomona Meditation Center, they have raga. For those who don't like it, they have dvesha. And for those who believe there is Pomona Vipassana Research Institute there, it's moha. Ragakhayo, dosakhayo, mohakhayo, nibbana. But I have raga, I have dvesha, I have moha. So can I experience nibbana? Not in my dreams as well. Why? Because it's a play between Nama Rupa and Vijnana. That's it. So if I want to be in Nibbana, then I shouldn't have Vijnana feeding over Namarupa. That's it. Ahara samudayo, rupa samudayo. Ahara nirodho, rupa nirodho. Vedana samudayo, phassa samudayo, vedana samudaya. Phassa nirodho, vedana nirodho. Like that, sanya and sankhara. And the last one, what we are attempting to understand, is Vijnana. So we have gone to Mahabodhi many number of times. Myself and students who came here along with Veena and Mrityunjay. Yes, there is a conventional thing called as Mahabodhi. You can put whatever board you want, absolutely fair. It's fine. But it is still a building. There is no Mahabodhi there at all. The moment I create Mahabodhi in the mind, then the problem starts. In the same way, this body is named Vilas, just like Mahabodhi. As long as the consciousness doesn't entertain Vilas, it's fine. If the consciousness starts feeding onto Vilas, the experience of Vilas is going to come. And then creates a personality called Vilas. And then everything happens from then. Clear on this? So, as Mahabodhi, as Vipassana Research Institute, so is Vilas. all are named objects. They don't have intrinsic value by themselves. They are literally valueless. And Vilas can be an Indian, but he gets into United States or some other country, he can become an American or an Australian or an Chinese or whatever it is. It doesn't matter because you can change. So it's not intrinsic. So it's not intrinsic as a Vilas, permanent, fixed, can become Chinese, can become Korean, can become American, can become Australian, can become a New Zealander, can become anything. Let's say May would like me to settle down in Wellington or Auckland or wherever it is. Then she says, Vilas G, I think you should come to New Zealand and reside here. I'll get you the PR. PR means permanent residentship of this body. Putting the body in the plane and then it's landed in New Zealand. It's named one, New Zealand. And there's a place called Wellington and Auckland and all of these places. In fact, there's a place called as Christchurch. I didn't know church can be belonging to somebody else also, other than Christ. I didn't know that. So they made it Christchurch. It's made up. You go to Australia, like an Aussie. So then, this consciousness then picks on Australian accent, Australia accent, Australia, right, in that accent, and then become Australian. Right? And that's all what it is. So now when Aryu as a Chinese can become American, because Aryu was neither a Chinese and hence he can become an American. And now they would ensure that he is loyal to America. It is created. So Aryu will also say, I hereby promise, blah, blah, blah. And his passport is an American passport. In the same way, I think May has a New Zealand passport. And Bobby already has an Australian passport. But Bobby is an Indian. Who says so? As per the document, he is an Australian. He's an Australian national. But he speaks Indian kind of English. That's okay, but he's still an Australian. Why? But that's how Namarupa is. Did he enter into Australia? Yes, he did. He did enter into Australia. He's an Australian. As long as he feels Australian, it's fine. But the day he starts not feeling Australian and he starts feeling he's an Indian, what will happen to Bobby? He will find a reason to fly back to India because he no longer believes that he is an Australian. And in fact, he is no one at all. He's no one. If he can stay like that, like no one, done it. Because the Vijnana is not feeding onto Namarupa. So Phassa, Vedana, Sanya, Chetana, Manasikara. Nama, 4 rupas are Chatuncha, Mahabhuta, and Chatuncha, Upadaya Rupa. Is what? Is the Rupakaya. Iti Nama, iti Rupa. So when I do Satipatthana, Kaye Kayanupasya Viharati, I should do both. And then the Vedana comes with both. And then the Chitta comes with both. And then the Dhamma comes of both. Anyway, that is a different topic altogether, but at present, continuing on the Vijnana, what we did yesterday, today is a conclusion of Vijnana and Namarupa. Because yesterday we spoke about Vijnana, we didn't speak about Namarupa. Now I'm talking about Namarupa. So the Namarupa has to be cut. Like a small baby also has a Namarupa of trying to find out what that object is. So through touch, it finds out. It can't speak. It touches and find out. So the verbalization of this is spread out in the hands and legs. So it has body language, and like we also have body language. So 90% of our discussion or our way of talking is through body language by making all of this. That body gestures. So the communication majority is body language. So the child also, a one day child is having the Namarupa with Vijnana through gestures. So don't think that only verbalization of language is going to be called a Nama. No. The basic Namarupa is gestures, body language. Okay, with that, I end our session today on Namarupa and Vijnana. That's all. Very short, very brief. I didn't want to go into theoretical details of each one of them because you have heard me saying this umpteen number of times. So for our practice, don't enter anywhere. Then the Namarupa is cut. So am I going to Australia next month? Conventionally, yes. That's it. So if I don't take a flight to Brisbane, I can never land in Brisbane. If I don't land in Brisbane, there is no experience of Brisbane. If there is no experience of Brisbane, I am already in Ragakhayo, Dosakhayo, Mohakhayo, Nibbana. Clear? Any questions? Today we'll close early because we don't have anything. That's all I had. Yes.
Just with like Sam, like Sota, Vijnana, to cut the Namarupa, like sometimes if you hear, let's say, a woman, your mind knows it's a woman's voice or it's a man's voice. How can you kind of or you know who it is. Like I know your voice, Vilas. I know this is Vilas's voice, or I know what air you sound like. How do you cut that down? Like to tell yourself. I mean, I know that's technically, intellectually, it's just frequency and vibrations and things, but it,
No, that's a
but when you hear it,
no, that's a practice we are going to have when we meet.
oh, okay,
May I can't do it on here. Some things,
okay, all right,
some things we need to do face to face, and also depends on how you have developed on Dhamma.
yes,
So,
okay,
yeah, two factors.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Terry.
One question. So there's this manasikara, then the passa happens, as in the Mulaka Sutta, right? So I guess there's yoniso and ayoniso manasikara. I guess yoniso manasikara means no passa, but ayoniso manasikara
No,
means
yoniso manasikara means you are cutting off nama rupa. If ayoniso manasikara means you are already developed nama rupa, so that is going to have the further linking.
right. So yoniso manasikara means I don't allow passa to happen.
Yes, you don't allow passa to happen. You'll cut off the passa because tinna sangati passo. There's no vedana. There's no sanya. They're like that. See, as long as I have a vinyana of Brisbane, then the vinyana will start to feed on Brisbane. If there is no vinyana of Brisbane, then there is no consciousness as in Brisbane. What's the point? The problem is when there is an experience. Let's say I join another company. I say to this present company that, look, I don't want to join and this blah, blah, and somebody comes and offers me a gold mine, and then I say yes. Why did the consciousness now take on a new job because of gold mine? It's a concept, but it bought into the concept. So the nama rupa happened because of phassa. How did the phassa happen? Because of vijnana. How did the vijnana come to be? Because of gold mine. It bought into the concept. Then there is an experience of gold mine. So chanda mulaka avusa sabbe dhamma. So now I am in chanda, interest for that gold mine. Manasikara sambhava sabbe dhamma. So I made up my mind to have that gold mine. Phassa samudaya sabbe dhamma. Now it is arising because of the phassa. Vedana samosarana sabbe dhamma. Now I am having a feeling of that gold mine. Another example. Next, very near to Shaniel's home is this Dhammagiri, very close. So not as far as what Bobby's home to that place is. So let's say while I reach on 30th of November, in few days time, we think of going to Dhammagiri. Dhammagiri as such has no rupa, neither it has nama. You have to create nama rupa to experience Dhammagiri. So what do we do? Bobby says, let's say, or I say to Bobby, why blame Bobby? I'll say to Bobby, I think, Bobby, we should visit Dhammagiri. What do you say? And I know Bobby is very happy to visit Dhammagiri. He has a friend there. So it will give him an opportunity to meet his friend. And a lot of books which I can take it. And new books would have come. So what do? I convince Shania. So I create an impression on Shaniel, create a Namarupa for him. So he bites into that Namarupa. So the Vijnana starts biting into it. Then what do? We take the car and we drive to Dhammagiri. And do what? Whatever we were doing in his place, we are going to do that there. That's all. There's nothing else is going to happen. What will happen? You tell me. You'll walk. You'll walk. You are walking here, you're walking there. You're sitting there and sitting here. Standing. You're going to stand there, you're going to stand here. Sleeping. That's the only thing you're not going to do in Dhammagiri. Other than this, what else can you do? And then feel hungry. So you're eating in Shaniel's home and now you eat in Dhammagiri. That's it. As far as the trees in the forest and everything goes, Shaniel already has it. There's nothing different. The trees are trees. So should I go to Dhammagiri? No. Should I go to Shaniel's home? No. Should I go to Brisbane? No. Shouldn't I go anywhere? Yes. Don't travel in the mind. Stop it. Very moment you stop it, you're Nibbana. Don't do mind travel. So do you go to office villas? Yes and no. Yes in conventional sense, no in real sense. So I'm not residing anywhere. What's the point? Okay. Any other questions? Otherwise, we are ending. This is a short one. Reason being, you need to reflect a lot on Namarupa. I can keep on giving you hundreds of examples. But when you experience it, you feel, wow, what a faking thing. It never existed. And now you've seen the Mara. It's fake. All the sight, sound, taste, touch, smell, and thoughts are fake. F-A-K-E, fake. Because they are created. They just arise and pass away. They don't stick. Now you've seen the anicca nature. They arise and pass away. They are dukkha because they lead to suffering. And this anatta, there's nothing to hold on to as mine. What will you hold on to a Dhamma horn? What will you hold on to a San Francisco or to Bangalore or to Karnataka or to India or whatever it is? It's just a placeholder. It just holds something. That's it. Why bother? Okay, all good. Should we end for today? Questions? No questions? All good. Experiencing, Mrityunjay, you seem to be experiencing whatever I'm saying. Good. Yes, Saryu.
No, I was just thinking as you were talking Dhammakiri, I was looking it up on Google Maps and seeing that and see where's Spruce Spring and where's the Gold Coast and where's the Sunshine Coast and all that. And I was thinking in the mind, just remove all the borders and the labels and everything, then you've removed now.
Yes.
Just seeing
Yes.
whatever is there, no shape.
Yes, no shape. So, yahi akare hi, yahi linge hi, yahi nimitte hi, yahi uddeshe hi, if that is removed from the namakaya, there is no reflection on the rupakaya at all. The same way, if you remove these four from the rupakaya, there is no reflection in the namakaya. So, in that way, there is no passa. That means to say, if I don't create a concept of Brisbane or Dhammagiri or whatever, or VRI in the Namakaya, can there be a resultant experience in the Rupakaya? That means when I stand in front of the building, there's nothing which is getting registered. Because the building itself is not there, it's created. And what is created will get destroyed. A meteor coming and hitting at that place will just pulverize the ground in a second. And that's it. That's the end of that place. Or if a bomb were to be dropped on that, it's gone. There's only mud and clay and all that. Because this was a concept, it seems to exist. When the conceptual reality is removed, no existence. So, if I don't reside in Brisbane, I'm not residing in Bangalore either. But both are concepts. Tomorrow, if some other country takes over India, they will name whatever they want. Like an example, there was a place called Prayag, long time ago. When Islam started, they named it Allahabad. It was called as Allahabad. So, actually, in Urdu, it means Ilahi is a person name. Abad means that good prevail on Ilahi. In English, when the English took over, they couldn't say it as Allahabad. So they made it Allahabad. So for some years, it was until recently, it was called Allahabad. Now the name is changed to Prayagraj. So all the residents from that day onwards are called as Prayagraj residents. In the same way, long before English arrived, this place was called as Bengaluru. When English came, they couldn't say Bengaluru, so they made it Bangalore. And then recently, through a legislation, they again rechanged that name to Bengaluru. So if you really see on the map today, the Bangalore is not there. It's called Bengaluru. It's official. So that means on even if you see on when you book your flight ticket, it shows Bengaluru. So all those residents of Bangalore are no longer Bangaloreans, they are Bengalurians. Right? And there's a place called as Kalburgi, long time ago. The Sultan, when he took over, made it Gulbarga. Gul in Urdu means rose. Okay? So Gulbarga means place where for him it looks like roses, bed of roses. So there was a legislation few years ago and they named it back to Kalburgi. So now no longer we can call it as Gulbarga, but to use it Kalburgi. Another one. Long time ago, a place by name Belagavi existed, which means Belaga means sunrise, a place where you can have a good sunrise. And English named it as Belagam because they didn't know how to make it Belagavi. They made it Belagam. And in the same legislation, they changed it back to Belagavi. So now you can't use the word Belagam to be Belagavi. Officially, you can't be using. So all those people who were previously Belagam are dead and they're awakened to Belagavi. Because conceptual, you can keep on naming whatever you want and you feel like that. So now we come to another section of the same discussion. There are people who are Marathi speaking and there are people who are Kannada speaking. It's all about speaking, but the fight is for language. So the Belgaum or Belagavi city is more Maharashtrians than the Belgaum or Belagavi as a district. The district is Kannada majority, but the place is Maharashtra majority. So from 1960s, there's been always fight between the Kannada and Marathi language. To an extent that in one of the marriage, we had gone to a marriage function within our relatives. Many of them, or majority of them, they speak Marathi, they don't speak Kannada. So a fun battle, a fun kind of ragging created a serious fight. It was just fun. It was never meant to uh, tarnish or insult anyone, but it went very bad. So some of the relatives of ours, they walked away in anger because they treated themselves as Maharashtrians. Now, is there a Maharashtrian or is there a Keralite? No, it's just conventional. Just like Google people, just like IBM people, just like Apple guys, something like that. But if you take it too seriously, your Namarupa and Vijnana starts to function and then you experience the pain or pleasure. So the Kalaha Vivada happened between Kannada speaking and Marathi speaking in my uncle's home. It was so bad that many of the relatives got fuming and they walked out of the house as a protest. It's just fun. But why it was not taken as fun? Because for them, language is real. Look at the attachment to the language. Why? That's a Namarupa. So the same thing can happen for nationality. Same thing can happen for anything. The Kalaha Vivada. Because of Sanya. And the Sanya is there in Vinyan. That picks up, brings into fire. So starts burning. Okay. All right. So think it over and then we meet tomorrow and we see how do we see five aggregates in daily life. Now you're seeing it separated. Now we'll combine everything and see. Anyone, any question? Otherwise, we're ending. Okay, all right. If nobody has anything, good day and good night, good afternoon. Bye bye.